Okay, we are officially recording. Welcome back to the Vendetta Sports Fantasy Show. Today is Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. Alex Chick, Scott Logush, the three normal people who I don't believe have missed an episode yet. What's going on, guys?
You're correct with that.
Yeah,
We've
been here every time.
Perfect attendance. Perfect attendance record.
So before I begin the show, I just have a little bit of a rant, and I have not said this to either of you because I want you off and not prepared for
all
this.
Natural reaction.
All natural reaction. I don't want you prepared. I didn't want you to know this was coming. So a couple weeks ago, before we started the show, one of our guys, Adam Ramirez, he made a debut on the show maybe 2 episodes ago. I don't know. But anyway, before we started this show, he recommended me, the fantasy footballers, to gather some ideas and see their content and maybe, formulate our show, see what we can do. So I watched them today, and, for the most part, they do a decent job. They're okay. Today I lost my mind. I lost my mind for one reason. It is insulting, not only to my intelligence, but to America's intelligence, to Italy's intelligence, to North Africa's intelligence. That's not a country. All right. It is
just the region.
It is disrespectful to every human being on the planet intelligence that you're going to put out an episode that says we're going to do a mock draft on a snake show. All right. We can't have this. Everybody wants to be that bald fuck, Matthew Berry. I'm not having it. All right. If you want to go and watch something and say, who should I pick with the 4th pick in a snake draft? Go fuck yourself and leave. I don't want you watching this show. We have no room for you. If that's who you are, if you're going to play fantasy like that, I don't want you watching this show. And people should watch this show because we're here to educate you. We're here to give you good picks. We're here to bring you good advice. But if you're going to sit there, I think I like Derrick Henry with the 3rd pick, and here's why, because he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. Go fuck yourself, dude. That is pathetic. A 12-year-old could put that show out there. I'm not having it. And I'm not listening to another fucking Matthew Berry sit there and say, I'll tell you what, Michael Thomas with pick number 8, that's a good one to keep in mind. Go fuck yourself, dude. So if you guys have this snake draft show with a mock draft, don't invite me to this one. I'm not having it. It's not happening here. So listen, when we do our draft, it's going to be an auction draft. It's not negotiable. I'm just sick and tired of the elementary fantasy shit that goes on because we should be educating people, but there's so many people out there that just don't know any better. So if you're one of these people and you find that entertaining, please leave. I don't want you watching this show.
Okay. That was a lot. That is kind of dumb,
it's
though.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Matthew Berry should be
embarrassed. He should be embarrassed of himself, that bald fuck, for going on national TV and sitting there and debating who he should pick, Zeke Elliott or Saquon Barkley. Shut up, dude. Honestly, it's pathetic. Do you have any response to that?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. It is kind of just dumb. I mean, I feel like on this show we do a lot of different things. We have a lot of different topics. It's actually a lot more fun. I mean, the shows that you're talking about, it's a dime a dozen. They have all that kind of shit. They do. I'm pretty sure they're not the first one to do a mock draft. I'm pretty sure they're not the last one to do a mock draft where they're like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna pick this, I'm gonna pick that." I was just laughing at your voice. Your voice, that shit made me laugh. That shit was funny.
Here's the worst part. They did another segment the last week, and I can't watch any more of it. It's pathetic. They did a segment called "Keep Trade Cut," and there was a group where it's like, "I would cut Zach Ertz." It's like, what the fuck kind of show are you putting out? I would cut Zach Ertz out of this group. That's not realistic. It's just so dumb. What are you doing all day? I don't get it. It's nonsense. It was like a group. It's like, out of this group, I would cut A.J. Brown. Nobody's ever doing that. You're wasting your time. So I had to get that out because it's pathetic. It needs to stop. It really needs to stop.
You want a mock draft?
Yeah.
Fucking run a CPU draft in a league.
It's pathetic.
Oh man, that shit made me laugh. I think speaking of Matthew Berry, let's just talk about this for a second. I accidentally glanced at the rankings he has. He has Saquon Barkley number 1. And I already know how you feel about Saquon Barkley, but just to have him number 1 overall, over CMC, Derrick Henry, all those fucking people, that's fucking ridiculous on
Nick Chubb.
First of all, last year, Matthew Berry went on national television, and he basically went all in on Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham and made himself look like a fool.
Yeah,
So
I don't even know how he still has a job after that.
I don't care what that guy says. He's one of the ugliest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. I don't know how he got in that movie. He is disgusting looking.
Oh, man.
Anyway, let's start the show out here, guys.
I think you started it. I think you got it.
Yeah.
We have some news to report. Speaking of Saquon Barkley, we're going to start here. Pro Football Focus, my favorite website of all time, they said Nick Chubb's the best running back in the NFL, and I wrote an article on this. It's blind squirrel finds the nut. I don't know if Chubb's the best running back in the NFL, but I think you could certainly make the argument, and he is the single most disrespected running back in the league. Scott, you weigh in here first, and then Alex.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Something as obvious as this, certainly to be able to make the case that Chubb is the best running back in the NFL, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And that's about all I have to say.
I will say he is the most disrespected running back in the league. That's an absolutely fair assumption. As far as best running back in the league, that's iffy for me. But of course, we all know that we differ on the Nick Chubb and Saquon Barkley thing. But I think he's one of the better running backs in the league. I think he's top 10 easily, and he's pushing top 5. So
let's think about this for a second. On the Cleveland Browns last year, a place where players go to die. Odell Beckham flat out said, they traded me to the Browns so I can go die. And he basically did. He was horrible last year. Mayfield was terrible. Everybody that Freddie Kitchens touched last year was god-awful, except for Nick Chubb, who rushed for 1,500 yards, 5 yards a carry, and was unbelievable all year behind a bad offensive line. They said all last year, Mayfield's offensive line is terrible. Well, if it's so bad, which it kind of was bad, but why is Nick Chubb rushing for 5 yards a carry? That's incredible. If he never got hurt at Georgia, he would have been drafted ahead of Barkley. I believe that.
Well, going back to the most disrespected thing, if he's that disrespected, not a lot of people are game planning for him. And I think that's fair to say. I think this year will be different. I'm not going to say he's going to dip in yards or anything. I think, if anything, he's going to prove his case even more that he's a really great running back. But, if he's really disrespected, you got, a lot of big names there. You're thinking about Odell. When you think of the Browns, from a casual standpoint, you think of Odell Beckham, you think of Jarvis Landry, and others. And then you're like, oh, yeah, Nick Chubb's back there too, even though Nick Chubb is a really good running back. And, he's really disrespected for the amount of production he's putting out.
When I think of the Browns, I think of complete organizational dysfunction. Yeah. It takes a special player to succeed in Cleveland. A lot of players who are good fail in Cleveland. Nick Chubb didn't just succeed. He's fucking awesome and was second in the NFL in rushing yards. And a team that wasn't good. That's hard to do. Almost impossible to do.
I feel like people think of Kareem Hunt before they think of Nick Chubb when it comes to Browns running backs right now.
That's fair, actually. I'll give you that, at least a casual standpoint.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
It goes back to your fucking mock drafts, assholes.
All right. How you really feel.
News number 2 here, and I blogged this today. All the news articles can be blogged, by the way, and you can see everything on vendettasportsmedia.com, so make sure to check that out. I got to get this fan out of here. I'm going to make sure to do that next time. Anyway, Alshon Jeffery Doug Peterson gave him a vote of confidence. He says, Alshon Jeffery is a big part of the offense. Alex, are you buying it?
Dead ass, no. When I say I forgot Alshon Jeffery was on the Eagles, I literally meant it because I forgot he even fucking existed. I don't think he's a big part of that offense. I think they got a lot of wide receivers this year. They drafted Jalen Rager and they're getting back to Deshaun Jackson. I totally forgot about Alshon Jeffery. I don't think that's bullshit, honestly. It's bullshit. It's what a coach tells a player. It's good PR, but it's not in any way true.
Scott?
It's not true, but at the same time, what can Doug Peterson say? No, this guy fucking sucks. We're not using him. You can't say that because he's on your roster. I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, they tried trading him at the beginning of the offseason, or they tried to get rid of him. No buyers, no takers. So at this point, you kind of have to give your vote of confidence, albeit false confidence, but you have to give it nonetheless because he's on your team. It's like freaking Bill Belichick saying, nah, Tom Brady fucking stinks. We got no wide receivers. They're all shit. You can't say that as a head coach. And so, yes, it's a lie, but it's really the only choice he has.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing I said in my post. It's lying season. He has to say this because they can't move on. If Philadelphia trades him or cuts him, it's $26 million in dead cap. Can't do it.
Oof.
They're stuck with him. Just is what it is. At this point, Alshon Jeffery is a deer that just got shot. He's on one leg. He's roaming around. He can't really move, but, he's still there. He's on a roster. And are they counting on him? No. If they were, they wouldn't have traded for Marquise Goodwin and then drafted 3 wide receivers. So it is what it is, and he probably isn't going to play week 1. He's recovering from Liz Frank surgery. They don't have any timetable on him. If he misses 8 weeks, nobody would be surprised.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of worthless at this point.
Yeah, it's just I totally forgot about who he was, and I'm not even going to bother looking at him in any fantasy league.
All right, last piece of news here. David Montgomery, not good in 2019, but he says he will be better in 2020. Alex, are you buying it?
Hell no. I think their offense is just so bad. The Bears' offense is so bad. The only person I like out of the Bears' offense is Allen Robinson, and that's about it. And his quarterbacks are both fucking ass. So this whole running back community, I don't think he's going to be that much better to where he's going to make any fantasy impact. I think Tariq Cohen has a better fantasy impact than he does. I mean, they're both kind of – no, I don't like either of them. I'm not drafting anyone from the Bears unless it's Allen Robinson.
Scott?
Going back to what Alex said, the Bears' offense is just so bad. He's just not going to be able to play better. You need good quarterback play and overall good play from every player on offense to make a running back successful. And when you have 2 quarterbacks who, one, if Trubisky starts, he's going to lose the job by week 2. And Nick Foles, he's had the incredible highs and the incredible lows. So you don't know what you're going to get from him. And if we get, the Jacksonville Nick Foles, that Bears offense is going to struggle. And if they're behind a lot of games, they're not going to be running the ball. And when you can't run the ball, you can't have a running back like David Montgomery to be valuable in any aspect in terms of fantasy value.
Yeah, I would take a little bit of a different angle to it, though. It's just, only a matter of time before all those clowns at PFF just kneel before their king. I constantly just make them look bad. Constantly. David Montgomery, I think, was their number 1 or number 2 running back coming out of the draft last year. Thought it was a joke. Wrote it in my combine notes. No short area quickness, no burst. 3.67 yards a carry. I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care what offense you're in. You're not averaging 4 yards a carry. You stink. And I don't see anything different from Montgomery because he's not a good football player. So, yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that's the nail on the head.
I feel sorry for all the Bears fans who listen to this show. The amount of shits we just take on the Bears and their players.
I don't feel sorry for them at all.
No, because Trey says he's trying to warn them.
You know why? Because all those fucks came after me for months. And even after his rookie year I think it was his second year then. When Matt Nagy took over. He wasn't good. It was all smoke and mirrors.
Compared to everything we've seen.
No, it was garbage. He was just smoke and mirrors. All those Bears fans got on me and for years tried to say, you don't know how to scout. You don't know what you're talking about. Trubisky's the best. He's going to prove you wrong. And once again, silence, because I'm right again. And at this point, I don't know why anybody questions what I say about draft picks. I just don't. I don't get it. At some point, just kneel before your king. Instead, what happens is they just disappear and act like it never happened. And one of these days, I'm just, it would be right if somebody just acknowledged, hey, man, I was wrong. Good looking out, dude. I'll start reading your stuff. But everybody acts like a coward, so I can't expect anything different. And you know what? If the Bears were really smart, they would fire that idiot, Ryan Pace, and just hire me. So, no, I don't feel bad.
I like Toxic Trey. It's fun.
It's fun. It's
Toxic Trey's fun. I like Toxic Trey.
All right. We're going to jump into the next topic here. Again, Alex Chick. Follow him on Twitter with his 0 episodes, Chick State Pod.
It's coming.
I knew it was coming.
It's coming. I'm trying to warn y'all. It's coming.
Mm-hmm. And Logush52 on Twitter. That is Scott. And I am Trey Daubert, TreyDaubert. Follow the website, media_vendetta. Hit that damn subscribe button. Need more subscribers. More subscribers, more episodes for you. So do that. Anyway, let's get into the first real segment of the show here. We're off to a hot start. 1 versus 2 quarterback leagues, and I'll kick this thing off here too. Because
here we go.
it just follows the theme.
Get your popcorn.
It follows the theme. Elementary school bullshit. Let's play checkers instead of chess. It's nonsense. If you're not playing in a 2 quarterback league, what are you doing? Nothing is worse than that bald fuck Matthew Berry. He sits up there and says, you might want to think about cutting Aaron Rodgers. What kind of fantasy league do you play in, you scrub? I mean, honestly, there should never be a case where all the quarterbacks aren't owned in the league. Quarterbacks are the most valuable position. In other fantasy leagues, you're drafting 6 receivers and 6 running backs and 2 tight ends or what. Why are you not starting 2 quarterbacks? It makes it fun. It makes it valuable. One of these weeks, you have no choice but to trot out there Nick Foles because he's the only one left, and it gets fun during bye weeks. It just adds another element. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't do a 2-quarterback league unless you're a little Charmin Ultrasoft guy. But, that's most of the world that we live in. So, Alex, what are your thoughts on 1 versus 2 quarterback leagues?
I've always liked 2 quarterback leagues because I always like the more players involved, and especially you were talking about how valuable quarterbacks are and you're going to have to make decisions at quarterback. I've always liked 2 quarterback leagues, take almost every quarterback in the league if you can. If you have that many teams, I've always liked 2 quarterback leagues just because you need it's just another element to the game. And I like big rosters. I like going, a little bit deeper. But for 2 quarterback leagues, I don't think you should know every starting quarterback. That shouldn't be too much to ask for.
This actually, I want to jump in here before we get to Scott here. This reminded me of another point. That Fantasy Fools football show or whatever, I don't care. They had they had another segment. It was like, is Teddy Bridgewater draftable? What leagues are you playing in? Like, grow a pair. These guys sit there and they laugh about their little jokes that make no sense. I don't really care. How is Bridgewater not draftable? That should never be the case. All of the quarterbacks should be owned. All of them. All of them.
Yeah.
All of them, Scott.
All of them, Scott. Before you continue any further, all of them should be drafted.
All quarterbacks must be drafted. Can compute.
Scott, anything?
So, 2 quarterback leagues. There's a lot more stuff to think about. You have to think about a lot more matchups. And also, if we have another year like last year when we see multiple starters go down, it adds a fun wrinkle to it in the sense that you have to guess which backup will be good. You have to guess, if Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges will be good, or if you want to go with Gardner Minshew.
Stop. Mason Rudolph can't play a lick.
Look.
And he's racist. Go ahead. I just wanted to add that part. I just wanted to throw it in there.
Mason, I guess it would get really people fired up again. like Colin Kaepernick can't play a lick, and people try to pretend like he can play, but he can't. Mason Rudolph actually can't play. Like he's one guy. Like if you said Kaepernick's better than him, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I've always said that.
Like Kaepernick can't play a lick. He doesn't belong in the NFL, but neither does Mason Rudolph. He stinks.
I like Doug
Can you
Hodges
believe
over
that some
Mason
draft
Rudolph.
analysts had Mason Rudolph ahead of Lamar Jackson?
Oof.
Like
Can you
draft season, I was reading that and I'm like, huh.
Can you believe that
fuck
Trey
are you
Daubert
looking
basically said that Mason Rudolph wasn't draftable? I can.
Yes, I
I-
can believe that.
I can
Oh my
believe that.
God. Let me get on my knees real quick.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Right? That's fair though. You know what? Trey's always been. He's been 99%. He's always spot on. You know,
I
you
mean,
get
that's
Trey-
that 1%.
Listen, I miss sometimes.
Yeah,
I do miss
you do.
sometimes.
Everyone
And
misses.
here's the problem. When I miss, I don't sleep at night. It drives me fucking insane. Like, I'll try to think of one. That I
Josh
missed.
Jacobs.
I'll try to miss on. Or
You said Josh Jacobs was not going to be good.
yeah, I didn't love him, but I didn't say he sucked.
Well, you
I
know,
just, I didn't.
that's
think,
how
would-
I took it.
I wouldn't have took him in the first round. That was my thing. I would have never took him in the first.
But
round.
you never take. You don't like running backs in the first round, though.
Yeah, I didn't think he sucked. I thought he was
Wow.
good, okay, but that's not a first. He wasn't a first rounder to me. Like if I'm gonna take a running back, he's got to be fucking special. He's got to be like, yeah, I know what I'm getting here. He's got to be like McCaffrey good if I'm taking a running back in the first round. And I'm not
That's
saying I don't believe in taking running backs in the first round, but you got to be nasty.
Yeah, I feel you. I
Like-
just want to put that out
like-
there.
I miss sometimes. I thought Joey Bosa sucked. I didn't think he was going to be good at all. Now he's very, very good. I don't sleep at night because of that one. It haunts me.
Yeah.
But I learned from it. I'll never make that mistake again. His hands are too good. I missed because he wasn't athletic.
The one
But
thing
it's fine. His hands are good.
I do like about you, Trey, is that you admit when you're wrong. I mean, you'll put an article out, you're like, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong about that one. You know, but that's fine. You're moving on. Even though it does keep you up for missing that one, you do move on. And you know.
I still remember, I think it was like 2004. Charles Rogers, Michigan State. Lions picked him in the first round. I'll never get over that one. I don't know how that guy sucked. He was just – I think it was just because he's an idiot. I'll never get over that. I thought Charles Rogers was going to be a monster. You probably even know who that is.
Nope. Absolutely no idea. No
Never
idea.
Vernon Golston. I think it was like 2008. I never get over that one. He was just a monster at Ohio State. I think he just didn't like football, but
Yeah, I could see your heart hurting a little bit. Maybe we should.
I
move
remember
on.
You can see the pain in his face.
I know he's
You
just
can see
like
the pain in his eyes.
anyway, next topic here. Unless you guys have anything on 1 versus 2 quarterback leagues.
nope. Dude, two
No, we're
quarterback
done
league.
with that one.
Yeah, get 2 quarterback leagues. You've got
Dude,
balls,
two quarterback leagues. Grow a pair.
Yep.
Okay, best waiver wire pickup. This one doesn't really apply to me because
Your
my league,
option.
but it's not that. My league only lets you have 5 the whole year. So you got to be very, very smart. And most of the time I end up using it on, I need a kicker. I need a tight end. So most of the time it's not really huge. I did somehow pick up Raheem Mostert in week 1,
Oof.
which was good,
Yeah.
but I didn't win last year because I don't want to get started on that. Jimmy Garoppolo and Deshaun Watson decided to have 0 touchdowns in the fantasy playoffs. So, yeah,
I love that.
great.
I love that for you, actually.
Fantastic. Yeah. Best team all year. But best waiver wire pickup
Mattered.
you ever had. Scott, what do you have?
Mine would have to be this previous year, picking up Benny Snell. Back when Cleveland played the Steelers in Pittsburgh, so the second time around, I needed a running back. And Benny Snell gave me 63 and a touchdown. It wasn't, elite high end, but for a waiver wire pick, pretty good. And also, I really need a running back because both of mine were hurt. And so I just needed one. I needed some form of points. I'm like, hey, James Conner's hurts. Benny Snell, we need you, bud. And that's where my who the fuck is that guy helps me out.
Alex?
I am a whore for looking at the waiver wire every week and looking at my team and doing all that. This was actually the year before last year, so 2 years ago. I picked up Austin Eckler in the later in the season, about halfway through the season. He turned out beautiful for me. for the playoffs. I still lost, I think, in the semis, but the fact that he was still out there, I couldn't believe it. But and that's what made me draft him next year when Melvin Gordon said he was going to hold out. I'm like, I'm getting Eckler because I know that guy's going to pop off. But he really did a lot for me in that year because he kind of wasn't named. I mean, he was known, but he wasn't like all that known. So he really helped me out that year.
Yeah, this just doesn't apply for my league because it's 13 teams. And, like, I think the best waiver wire pickup last year was Gardner Minshew, which nobody would ever drafted if you had a 30-team league.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys said. And for next show, we can get you prepared. We're going to talk about, like, the I don't remember what it's called. The standard, like, worst record goes first or whatever. Yeah. I think even the losers that do snake drafts should have auction-style free agent waivers. You get a cap, and it's no longer like worst team gets first pick. You got.
I'd like that.
So we can talk about that next week, but I think it's a lot better than if you have a good first week. It's like great,
oh, fuck.
You know. I don't think that's right.
Shit.
Well, it goes week by week. So I mean, if you like lose, if you go like you win the first week and then the second week you lose, you're in the middle. Like let's say there's a couple 2 teams, and it goes points against, points for. But I see what you're saying though. It does reset after week.
All right, this is the big segment of the week here. We're going to go fantasy yearbook. We're like to be creative on this show. So, we had your little first grade yearbooks, cheesing, showing off the smile, little rascals. And there's always topics at the end of the yearbook. So we're going to try to project that for the 2020 season. Couple of yearbook things going on. Best couple. This would be your quarterback and wide receiver duo. This has been a thing in the past. You had Big Ben and Antonio Brown in years past. Had them on the same team. That was great. Randy Moss, Tom Brady, had them. Even Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning. Sometimes it's good to have a quarterback, wide receiver combo on the same fantasy team. So, Alex, you open up the yearbook a year from now. You look back at the end of the year standings. What's your best couple here?
All right. And it's kind of bad because you did write an article about this guy and saying that he won't be no good. But it's really Devontae Adams that I love. It's got to be Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams for me. Even though Aaron Rodgers is getting old, he's not getting much help. But Devontae Adams is a clear number one there. You got Devin Funchess as your second. I mean, I'm just not too thrilled about it. I think Aaron Rodgers comes out pissed off about, Packers drafting a quarterback. I mean, he's going to do whatever he can. I don't think the Packers are even going to be that good today or this year. I think they'll be behind in a lot of games that have to throw. Aaron Rodgers may not be that good of a fantasy quarterback, but I think Devontae Adams, I think he's going to get a lot of targets, a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns.
I don't hate that pick.
Yeah.
I don't like Rodgers wouldn't be the guy that I'm like all over for fantasy, but he's just such an asshole that he will there will be games where he's like, fuck it, I'm just throwing to Devontae Adams, and I don't care if I throw a pick. He's like that.
Yeah,
he is.
No shit. He really doesn't.
So I don't hate that pick. More so, I like it on the Adams side, but I don't hate that pick at all.
I like Devontae Adams, and that was most of the reason why I picked it.
Scott?
Before I go, I have one thing I need to take up with every Packer fan I know.
Oh, okay.
Pick a fucking side. You cannot say Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the league and that Aaron Jones is the best running back in the league, and then in the same paragraph say Aaron Rodgers has no help.
Both of them are wrong anyway. I mean,
where is this argument coming from? Where are you seeing this?
Because
just my one friend who's a Packers fan. He's like,
Oh, name drop him. Name drop him right now. Name drop him.
I'm not gonna name drop him. But it's like, well, yeah, it's best wide receiver in the league. Aaron Jones, best running back in the league. Look at the stats. And then in the same conversation, Aaron Rodgers has no fucking help. And it's like, both cannot be true. Pick a side. All right? Look, you can say either. It's fine. It's your opinion. But if you think both, your opinion is just wrong because it's impossible for both to be true. You can't be like best wide receiver in the league and best running back, no help at all. That's not practical. That's BS. And Packers fans, if you think this, make up your mind. It's one way or the other. It cannot be both.
I think Rodgers has help.
I think he has Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
I think he has
But
more
I
help
don't-
than
That's the
Carson Wentz
point.
does.
Yeah,
That's the
I'll
point.
give you
He's
that.
Aaron Rodgers has Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. He doesn't have no help. He has help.
His offensive
Like-
line's good too.
Exactly. Like,
I
what the hell?
don't even think those two are the best in whatever their fields. I don't think Aaron Jones is nowhere near the best running back, and Devontae Adams, best I would put him as top 5, but that's about it. No, I mean, so those two statements altogether is, well, just him saying that Aaron Jones is the best running back in the league. That's really just kind of, I don't like that at all. That
I
grinds
know.
my gears. That grinds my gears.
Scott, did you have a pick here, or did I miss that?
No, I didn't say. I didn't. I wanted to address that one Packers fan and just be like, "You're wrong," and now I'm going to give my pick.
Okay.
We're just making sure we're on topic.
Just making sure here. My pick for best couple is Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. This is mainly being carried by Michael Thomas, but still, Michael Thomas, he gets force-fed in that system. He is the number one. Plays get drawn up specifically for him. He runs the short and intermediate routes great. And that complements Drew Brees, who's older, lacking some arm strength, but still accurate. And Michael Thomas, he's just going to be bringing in the catches, bringing in the yards, bringing in the touchdowns. And Drew Brees isn't going to throw a ton of interceptions, mainly because he doesn't take a ton of shots. You can chalk that up to he just can't because of his arm, and that's perfectly fine. But he doesn't have to be a productive fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that one's more obvious. I guess the reason why I didn't pick that is because while Breeze was actually decent for fantasy last year, there have been games where he's looked old as the year has gone on. So that wouldn't have been my pick just because I would be scared to draft him in leagues. That Vikings game, he was brutal.
Taysom Hill is the best quarterback on the Saints roster.
And I actually think if him missing some games last year helped him. He looked fresh when he came back. So I would be terrified to draft him, actually.
I think with the Emmanuel Sanders, that helps him. I didn't pick Drew Brees and Michael Thomas just because Emmanuel Sanders was there, and that was literally the only reason why I didn't. It had nothing to do with Drew Brees. It had nothing to do with Michael Thomas. It was just Emmanuel Sanders. I think he takes some targets, and I think he helps the Saints offense as a whole. But for Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, I don't know. But that was the only wild card I had in there. That was going to be my second pick, honestly. So,
all right, my pick is actually different. I thought somebody would have actually picked this, but I'm going to go with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
I thought about that too, but I was like, I don't know. But yeah,
I think anytime you trade for somebody, you want to prove that you were right. If Hopkins catches 15 touchdowns, which is a insane number.
Yeah.
Would anybody be surprised?
Nope. Absolutely not.
And I've read some things about like fantasy people overthinking this. It's like, well, they they go out there and they use 4 wide receivers a lot. Yeah. They spread the ball because there wasn't a primary target. When you insert a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, or if you would put Michael Thomas in the Cardinals, they would dominate the targets. So I don't really get that argument for, Cliff Kingsbury's going to spread the ball around. I don't buy that. I think while I don't like Murray as much as Deshaun Watson, I think they are kind of similar in the fact that when they're scrambling on a third down and they need to pick up a first down and it's, oh shit, where's Hopkins? I think that happens a lot when some of these, mobile quarterbacks. Plus, I think Murray's going to be fantastic as a fantasy option this year. So if you're asking me, you rank wide receivers, quarterbacks, I think both of them could be in the top 5. So that would be my pick.
Yeah, I like it. Those 3 were actually the ones that I was, rotating against. But I just went with Aaron Rodgers because I know that guy can just throw the ball, and I love Devontae Adams. So
you got an ankle biter back there yapping?
Dude, yeah, that's my dog, bro. All the time. I got a new puppy, and so they're fighting all the time. It's a territorial thing.
So it's 2 of them.
It's 2 of them, yeah.
So you're getting both your Achilles taken out.
Pretty much.
Well, ankle biters.
Yeah, Don't get me started on that shit. They go on, bro. They keep me up at night. Those are the ones that just won't shut the hell up.
All right, another reminder. Again, we are brought to you by VendettaSportsMedia.com. Check out the website. Alex Chick, Scott Logush, myself, Trey Daubert. We will be rotating some other people in the site, so you will see more of the Vendetta crew in the fantasy episodes like Jackson and Adam and Chad. So more people will be joining the show. And hit that subscribe button because more subscribers, more episodes for you guys. Let's move to the next yearbook topic. And this is Class Clown. You open up the yearbook, you fucking hate that guy. You hate that guy in the cover of Class Clown. You want nothing to do with that guy. You open up the yearbook, and this guy is a huge fantasy bust. Player that you open up the yearbook and like, shit, I should have known he was going to suck this year. Who is that going to be? Scott, go ahead.
Any Bears offensive player. You take any offensive player from the Bears.
I like Allen Robinson. I don't think Allen Robinson is part of that guy. I think
he can't make contested catches if Mitch is missing him by 15 yards.
I mean, he still had 100 receptions last year.
Robinson was good last year.
He was good. But I understand the whole
every Bears offensive player. If you take any quarterback on that team, you are setting yourself up for disappointing. You're wasting a draft pick. You're wasting money in an auction league. If you take Tariq Cohen or David Montgomery, same story. You're wasting a draft pick or you're wasting money in an auction league. If you take any one of their, 8 or 9 tight ends on their roster, you are wasting a draft pick and salary cap space in an auction league. Do not touch the Bears offense.
He got like 5.
Why don't you like Allen Robinson? Because he was good last year.
I like Allen Robinson.
It's more so related to the quarterback play because if we get Jacksonville, Nick Foles, not going to be as accurate. And yes, Allen Robinson is great at making contested catches, but he's not going to have the chance if the pass isn't in the same area code. And if Mitch Trubisky starts, that pass is going to be off by at least 15 yards.
To be fair for you, Allen Robinson did have 150 targets, I think. And so I don't think that's Allen Robinson's fault that he missed out on 50 targets. I just think that's more of the quarterback play.
Well, and that relates to it. If you're drafting a wide receiver, you have to take into account the quarterback situation.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
All right, Alex, what do you have here?
It's actually funny because in my yearbooks, all of my yearbooks, I was voted as class clown because I would just
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but I who would be, right? And then so my fantasy bust though is Joe Mixon. I fucking hate this guy. I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand the hype last year that was surrounding him. I couldn't hype any other year that people were like, yeah, Joe Mixon, great fantasy running back. No, I hated that guy. Would not draft him. Thought anyone was stupid if they drafted him. I don't like him. He's worse. He's the worst. Nope, don't get him. I don't even know if he gets top 15 this year. And I stand by that. For 15 running backs, I don't think he's in the top 15.
The thing I don't stand is that people that actually have Joe Mixon on their team will defend him and say he was great for them last year.
No, he was garbage.
I don't know where he finished, but
he was like top 15, I think. I think it was top 15, honestly.
I would look at the fantasy finishes each weekend. It's not like he was carrying your team.
No.
Ever.
He might have got 10 points. If you're happy with 10 points, get the fuck out of here. Like, I want to play in your league.
You're losing anyway.
I want to play in your league. If 10 points for a running back
you're happy with 10 points, I want in.
I want in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't get the people that love Mixon.
I never got it. I never understood it.
Okay, mine is my plan for this segment was to pick one guy, but I'm having a hard time, so I'm going to stick to one guy. I'm going to take Chris Godwin here, and this is going to shock some people.
Was the other guy Mike Evans?
Yes, the other guy's Mike Evans.
That's fair. That's absolutely
You
fair.
could just say Bucs receiving core.
Yeah.
It's cheating. One class clown. Chris Godwin. People love Chris Godwin, and Chris Godwin was amazing last year. And I had Chris Godwin. I was thrilled with what he gave me. The problem is I will bet every dollar that I have in my wallet, in my bank account, in my future earnings. I guarantee Tom Brady has less fantasy points than Jameis Winston did this past year. I will bet everything that I have on it. I will bet
Winston was top 5 last year, wasn't he?
That's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, he was top 5 last year.
But the way Chris Godwin is ranked, Brady would almost have to surpass what Winston did for Godwin to put up those same numbers.
Okay.
Godwin was basically, and he got hurt at the end of the year, but I believe he was top 5 everything. I'll have to go back and check.
Hold on, I'll check for you. Go ahead. Keep talking. I got it up right here.
The way Godwin is ranked, and I've checked some rankings, he's like number 3, 4, 5 on some of these rankings, which is banana land. It's insane. There is no chance Tom Brady has more fantasy points than Winston did this past year. There's no way. They have to run the ball more this year. They have to. And even if Brady is better than Winston this year, which I'm not convinced, that means they're in less shootouts. Part of the reason why Godwin was so valuable is because Winston would drive down the field, throw a pick, and then they get the ball right back. So when Godwin's doubling up yardage each and every time, which the people that don't understand that Godwin benefited from Winston last year, those people don't get football. Say what you want about Winston, but Godwin doesn't get those yards without him. So to me, he's way too high. And I mean way too high. You're not only banking on Brady being good, you're banking on him being better than Winston was last year for fantasy. For Godwin to live up to that ranking.
So I just did the he was third in yards, he was 4th in touchdowns, and he was 11th in receptions. But if you're top 3,
I don't care
top
about
4,
receptions.
I know you don't care about receptions, but I was just saying because there's still people that play PPR. That's it.
If you're there's no way he's going to be top 3 in yards and top 4 in touchdowns. There's no way. There's no way. No, I'll bet every dollar in my bank account on that. Every penny. I will bet my 5-year salary for the next 5 years. There's no way.
That's fair. I think Tom Brady's garbage.
No way. There's just no way. It's not possible.
No, it's not. And then you got
Brady would basically have to be not only better than Winston, but like fantasy better than Winston, which would mean he would have to throw for like 40 touchdowns for Godwin to do that. It's not happening.
I think we can agree that's not happening.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, you add Gronk and O.J. Howard too. Mike Evans is still alive, by the way. So I don't see it. And then Tom Brady, his goose is cooked. He's not.
I'll have to check this too. I believe Brady averaged 6-point-something yards an attempt.
I'll
have to go and check that, but he wasn't throwing the ball down the field last year. Godwin, if he's going to have a good fantasy year, he has to take some of those dink and dunks to the house.
Yeah.
You're going to count on that for fantasy?
No.
I'm not doing
Absolutely
that.
Not. No.
So I think you're nuts if you're all in on this Tampa offense here.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I have to say this again. It doesn't matter if Brady plays better than Winston from an NFL perspective. Does not matter. Winston's great for fantasy because he's in all these shootouts. And it actually helps him throw in all these picks because it forces him to come back and throw the ball down the field. He's Winston, say whatever you want, he's great for fantasy.
He's
great for fantasy.
You know, when you said he was going to be top 5 at the beginning of last season, you said he was going to be a top 5 quarterback. I thought you were crazy, and he absolutely was. He was top 5 quarterback.
I'm surprised. Trey's right again.
Yeah, right?
You don't have to love him. That's the point people don't get. You don't have to like him. He's great for fantasy.
Yeah. He really is. Even with 30 interceptions. That's impressive. 30 in interceptions. He had 30 interceptions and was still one of the best.
I think he was number 3 last year, quarterback. Again, I'll have to go back and check. But.
Don't worry. I got it all right here. I'm okay. Like the researcher. I got you.
Also, to add on to your point, last year Brady averaged 6.6 yards an attempt.
Which is horrible.
He was 5th.
I don't care who your weapons are. You can't average 6 yards an attempt and make me believe that number's going up, like way higher.
Yeah.
So
no, but I've never liked Tom Brady, so I'm of course I'm going to be with you. I can't fucking stand the guy.
This Brady hype is reminding me of all the dumbass Trubisky hype from last year. Does anyone remember like this one group of people being like, Trubisky's going to win MVP? And then everyone around them is just like, you're a fucking idiot. And they're like, no, trust me. It's going to be great. And then we saw what happened.
I think that's a bad comparison.
No one can call me a homer, okay? That's all I'm saying is because I don't make outlandish shit like that. I say the Raiders go 10-6. That's as outlandish as I'm going. That's it.
I think that's a bad comparison because if you're going to compare him to anything, it has to be like Peyton Manning's last year where he threw 9 touchdowns and 17 picks, or when the wheels fell off of Brett Favre. It's going to happen because he's not going to retire. He's going to keep playing. Yeah. It's a matter of when it happens. And I think it could very easily happen that if Brady is – I don't remember. I'm bad with years. That last year Broncos Peyton Manning. I think that could happen.
2013?
No, that's 2015, I think.
2015?
Whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't matter. That could be Brady this year. It could. It's in the realm of possibility that could be him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Father Time. No one beat Father Time. Father Time is
undefeated.
Undefeated Father Time.
2 more fantasy yearbook questions unless you guys come up with one on the spot. Best dancer. And this one will be the best touchdown hog. You constantly see this guy dancing in the end zone because he scores touchdown after touchdown in 2020. Alex, who wins your yearbook best answer?
Oh, man, don't hate me, but I'm going to go – I got to stick with my main man, Derrick Henry. I think he had a lot of rushing touchdowns last year. My second pick. He did. Honestly, on God, he did. And
Derrick Henry didn't score a lot of touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he did. I swear to God. On my mom's.
What do you consider
right
a
lot?
Now.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
I know. I understand that. I understand that. But yeah, no, I think he's going to continue that this year. I don't have a lot of faith in Ryan Tannehill. And I think they're just going to force feed Derrick Henry, and I think he's in the prime of his life. I think he'll be the touchdown leader, at least for rushing touchdowns.
Prime of his life.
Was this total touchdowns or just rushing touchdowns?
See, and that's where it changes, because if it goes to total touchdowns, I'm torn between him and Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, you can't change your pick now.
I'm not changing it. That's why I said I'm going to stick with one.
I want to go back to this prime of his life. What's he doing out there?
Well, he's got a lot of shit going on. He lives in Tennessee. Tennessee, they do a lot of drinking. I'm trying to make shit up off the top of my head. But yeah, prime of his life, dude. There's a lot of shit going on in his life. Tennessee's a bad place.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anybody have anything to add on Derrick Henry?
Why? Why Derrick Henry?
Just why?
Because he got a lot of touchdowns last year.
I
don't know if he got a lot of touchdowns last year, but I don't know if you knew that.
I just want to confirm this. Was this total touchdowns or like just rushing touchdowns? Because when I hear touchdown, I think a total touchdown.
It should be total touchdowns, but I'm gonna stick with Derrick Henry on it.
I don't really care. You can make the rules as you go.
Well, if we're doing total touchdowns, I do like CMC too, but that's all I did. But I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Derrick Henry just for the fun of it.
Scott, go ahead.
I went total touchdown, so I'm going Christian McCaffrey.
See, and that was my second pick, but I knew someone would pick.
Yeah, but it wasn't your first pick.
Lame.
Oh my.
You can say what you want. You can say it's a lame and boring pick, but it's probably the right pick because he is legitimately the only shining star on that Panthers offense. And he's an extremely valuable receiver. You can line him up at slot, and he will be fairly productive. And add in his ability to just make plays happen with his legs, he's going to be your touchdown leader.
You better be careful because Panthers fans, they're really high on DJ Moore. I still don't fucking see that shit, though. But DJ Moore is like
telling me to
superstar.
be careful. You're the one just shitting on him.
DJ Moore is like, he's a superstar, man. Yeah, I mean, you said Christian McCaffrey's the only superstar. No, DJ Moore, man. That guy, awesome. I don't know where all that fucking hype's coming from. It drives me nuts.
I should have said this at the beginning. Let's be honest about this topic.
Okay.
Let's be honest about this topic. Who the fuck knows who's going to score the most touchdowns? I mean, this is a ridiculous thing to predict, isn't it? Aaron Jones was number 1 last year, right?
Yeah.
You would have laughed at somebody for saying that.
Yeah, and
so it helps when he has like 4 in 1 week.
I think a lot of touchdowns I think are luck. Maybe some of it isn't, but a lot of it is like I don't know. I think it can
Right
vary
place,
from year
right
to-
time.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a bullshit topic. We're going to talk about it anyway. I'm going to go with – I don't even feel good about this pick. It's probably wrong. I don't care. It probably is wrong. I'm going to go with Travis Kelce.
Oh,
What happens if
New?
okay.
– Art throw. What happens if the Chiefs' offense – now, it kind of like got stopped when Mahomes got hurt last year. What happens if they come out firing, Mahomes throws 50 touchdowns again, and Kelce gets 20 of them?
I mean, that's
I wouldn't be that
that's fair.
surprised.
I really wouldn't. He's
I
a
don't
big
know.
body.
It can't happen.
You're not wrong. I mean, it could happen, honestly. I mean,
I
that's
just
why
want to
don't
throw
like-
a curveball in there.
I don't like the Chiefs' offense for fantasy because I don't know who the fuck is getting the ball.
Plus,
That's my whole thing.
Patrick Mahomes.
Travis Kelce, pretty good dancer. Pretty good dancer.
I don't like the guy. He plays for the Chiefs. Fuck that guy. But I mean,
Well, you don't like anyone who plays for the Chiefs.
That's
Pretty good
fair.
dancer, though.
I do kind of like
You gotta
Patrick.
fight. Hey,
I
in
do
his
kind
own
of like
words, in Travis Kelce's own words, you have to fight for your right to Lombardi.
Nah, I don't give a fuck about that. Anyway, yeah, that was interesting. I like that pick.
All right.
It could
Last one. Teacher's pet. This one is maybe kind of an under-the-radar player that's not, too highly regarded, but you love the coaching staff and you think the coach will get this player involved and they're going to have a really good fantasy year because they're just in the right environment. And the teacher's pet is just thriving because the teacher loves him. So, Alex, who's your pick for teacher's pet?
I'm doubling down, tripling down, and you know what? This is probably it's Baker Mayfield. I love Kevin Stefanski. I think he does a lot. I think he's a good quarterback coach if he's making Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins. I've said it again. I'll say it again. I think Baker Mayfield has a way better year. I think he could really benefit from having him as his coach.
Do you owe Kevin Stefanski money or something?
You know what? I might, but I'm just trying to talk. I really am excited for Baker Mayfield. I think he does a lot better this year. But I'm going to double down, triple down on it. I really like it.
Okay.
Sure.
Scott?
Okay. I'm going with a quarterback as well, and that would be Teddy Bridgewater for the Carolina Panthers. And we talked about how – sorry, what were we saying, Alex?
I was who's his offensive coordinator?
Joe Brady.
Okay.
At LSU, he ran the same system that the Saints did. And when Bridgewater stepped in for Drew Brees for those 5 games, he was fairly productive. And also, that's a small sample size. It's 5 games, so it's like, oh, shit, we got to, slowly ease him into this thing over the course of a month. And then by the time he really has his feet wet, sorry, you're out. Brees is back in. But now he's going to have a full offseason, albeit a different offseason, but a full offseason to understand the offense, understand the concepts, and get comfortable in it. And because of that, and also it's fairly similar to what he excelled in last year. And so they have an uber productive running back in Christian McCaffrey. You can get him the ball. They have a decent receiver core. I'm not going to say it's elite. They definitely don't have a Michael Thomas, but it'll get by. He'll be able to get by. And honestly, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Brady. Joe Brady has transformed Joe Burrow into what he is. Now, I'm not saying Bridgewater is going to be an MVP candidate, but he's definitely a breakout candidate.
I love that pick. Love that pick. And here's why. I don't think people are – I've tried to preach this. Nobody's listening, but people need to start listening. Was Joe Burrow good because Joe Burrow's good? Or is Joe Burrow good last year because Joe Brady is actually a genius? We need to ask this question because I think there's a very good chance that Joe Burrow is actually hot garbage and Joe Brady's a genius. I'm not saying that's the case, but I think there's a chance that's the case, and I think Bridgewater could be very good this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I thought Teddy Bridgewater was really good when he was playing with the Saints, and
he didn't lose.
He didn't lose at all. I mean, he played awesome. Of course, he had Michael Thomas, so that Alvin Kamara is still not the worst running back ever. So I mean, he had a good supporting cast, but I mean, by himself, he played well. He really did.
Didn't lose.
Never lost.
Stepping into
Never lost.
undefeated.
Undefeated. That's a LeVar Bell.
All right. My pick for teacher's pet is Raheem Mostert. And if you know me, I love Kyle Shanahan. I said after the Falcons lost the Super Bowl, they should have fired Dan Quinn on the spot and made Kyle Shanahan the head coach. Look at those loser Falcon fans now. 7-9 every year, and they
win
suck.
7 games again.
Kyle Shanahan is arguably the best head coach, best offensive play caller in football. I've said it for a very, very long time. All of his running backs are special. I don't care who you give him. He's going to be good. And I actually think there's a chance Raheem Mostert is good without Shanahan. For a long time, Mostert just was never given the opportunity. He was kind of a gadget guy at Purdue. He's turned himself into a real running back, and they're going to run the ball a lot. Shanahan knows what he's doing schematically, and Mostert's going to be a lot better than people are projecting.
I just don't like the running back community. I don't.
Who says there will be one, though?
I know, but
did you watch the playoffs this year?
No, I didn't. Yeah, of course I watched the playoffs. Yeah, I mean over the course of the year, they had a running back community. For the playoffs.
Turn the Green Bay game on in the playoffs.
Well,
Couldn't stop them.
I don't have it queued up on my TV. I don't have it right now. Maybe I will later.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. If they run with the running back committee, and that's very much a chance, then I don't like it. But if they don't, yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Scott, anything?
I like the pick. I mean, when he had the chance to be the guy, happening against Green Bay, and we all know what happened there.
Yeah.
Could you chalk that up to Green Bay not having a great run defense? Yes, you can. But
it wasn't just that game, though.
Exactly.
He was awesome all year.
Exactly. Like, you can't place it on one team's defense being responsible for a running back going over 200 yards. Like, at some point, it's the coach, it's the running back scheme.
All right. Last but not least. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I forget to do this. I need to start.
I don't know why either. This is like your favorite segment.
Hey, this is a good segment. I think no one else is doing this segment. You know,
yeah,
I mean, if they do it, they call it the sleeper picks, but then it's not even like
it's not fun.
No, this is like coma picks.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing.
One more time.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? Guy you never heard of, guy you'll never draft, but somehow, some way, he will win you your fantasy league. Go ahead, Scott. What do you have this week?
I have. So last time I went with a backup kicker. This one I'm going with Justin Rowasser.
Ooh,
he's another kicker.
I don't know where that's from.
Yes, New England kicker.
Good. That was good. I had no idea. So, but that's not saying much.
They drafted
none of you knew.
They drafted him.
Did they?
I believe they drafted him, and there was also a story about him having a tattoo that was not very good.
Oh, that guy!
That's that guy. It's that guy.
Got it. Okay.
You don't know his name. You don't know him as a kicker. You just know him as the guy who had bad tattoo.
Yeah, swastika.
Yeah.
Oof.
You know him as the guy with a bad tattoo, but
we don't support racist on this show, Scott.
No,
go ahead.
Screw you.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but Patriots offense, I don't see them scoring a lot of touchdowns. They'll be able to move the ball with the running game, but when you get closer to the end zone, teams there, you're not going to be able to just run the ball on every play or first, second down, and maybe if you're lucky, get a completion with Jared Stidham. You're welcome, Alex.
Stidham, yes, sir.
On third down. And so I can see them having to settle for a lot of field goals. And albeit a small sample size, Justin was 2 for 2 from over 50 yards in college. And,
that's two more than anyone else.
Those kicks are worth quite a bit of points. He was also very accurate overall, only missing 3 kicks his entire senior year. So, you know what? Need a kicker? Pick him up.
Nice. I like it.
I kind of wish Stidham was the Raiders quarterback.
No, I swear to God. I mean, Jesus
Kind of
Christ.
wish that was the case.
No.
Oh, that would be great.
You know what? Why would you wish more mediocrity on the Raiders?
It's not mediocrity. It's
We've
just
been through so much.
fucking-
20 years. We had one good year, 2016. Other than that, it was just like, bro, no, why? I've cried every year. Oh my God, and I haven't really cried. I cried when Derek Carr broke his leg, though. I really did. I was at work and I cried. I was like,
I think every.
we go to the playoffs. It was bad, bro. No, I was bawling. I was like, why? He was gonna win MVP that year too, and that is me being a homer. But I think
don't know about that.
I on God think he could have won MVP if he was healthy.
Just kind of want to hear you say Stidham's on the Raiders. Just
No, I just not.
That'd be
no,
great.
never. I hate that actually.
Alex. I don't know why the fuck I just called you Alec.
It's all right.
Alex, who is your pick?
This one might be a little bit weaker, but me not hearing about him, that's not saying much. But Brian Hill from Atlanta. Sound good? Good. All right, good.
Not bad.
It's not bad. But looking at his stats, I was like, well, some people probably heard of him. But running back for Atlanta, he had 323 yards for the year. He had 78 carries, 2 touchdowns rushing, and 1 touchdown receiving.
Where'd he go to college?
Wyoming.
Ha! He got it.
Yeah.
He got it.
It's only because I Googled him. But I really like this because, Todd Gurley, he's kind of losing his legs. And then he had
Literally losing him.
He's
He's getting
literally-
chopped off tomorrow.
He's literally
Jesus.
losing his legs, yeah. And then if you're going to say Ito Smith, I mean, Brian Hill is more relevant than Ito Smith last year in fantasy. So I think and it's not an issue if, but when Todd Gurley gets injured, I think Brian Hill's going to be the one to step up.
Or also when the Falcons just decide he's dog shit and bench him.
Yeah, close enough. Either way, they might cut off his legs themselves, and they might say it's an injury. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Gurley could be okay this year. Maybe.
It depends if he stays healthy, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't
All
think
right.
you can really stay healthy if you have an arthritic knee as a running back.
Yeah, see,
If you actually
And he's
look
not-
at his numbers with the Rams last year, they weren't bad. He played in every game.
yeah, but he was
That's like
there
saying your
every
fifth
game.
receiver has played in every game.
Yeah, so I mean, like, how much do they?
I'm going to look
monitor
at his numbers
workload?
right now because now you're making me do that.
Okay, well, you know what? I have
Hey,
it
let's
right
do
here.
it.
He wasn't that bad last year.
I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying that they
Doesn't
monitored
matter.
his
We're just saying it's
workload.
kind of hard to stay healthy and effective if you have an arthritic knee.
He had 12 touchdowns last year.
Well, good. They put him at the goal line.
Okay, but his yards per carry dip.
3.8. Not great, but it's not like he died.
The year before
You
it was
said-
4.9.
You said if it was 4.0, if it wasn't 4.0, they are absolute
Bad.
garbage.
Yeah.
You said that, so he's
But-
garbage.
In terms of fantasy, he had 12 touchdowns.
He did. I will give
It's
him
not
that.
like he was fucking dog shit trash. You
And
couldn't
he had
use him.
17 the year before.
Well, but you got to think that was probably in the beginning of the year, so he might have had more if they didn't, start using Malcolm Brown and Darnell Henderson. Because I remember
He
they
also
were
had less than half the amount of receiving yards this year as he did last year. This year
Nobody.
being 2019.
The year before he was like an MVP basically.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah,
It's 17 touchdowns the year before. He
Aaron
carried he carried an offense that went to the Super Bowl. You could very easily make that case.
that defense was
You
better.
could also make the
That
case that
defense-
C.J. Anderson did that in the playoffs. He was the
Yeah.
driving force in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'm just the regular season. Jared Goff stinks.
He does.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm agreeing with that.
Okay, my pick is Jake Luton. Who does he play for?
Fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. I
Give
even
us a
tried.
position.
Quarterback.
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 Fuck. I have no idea, honestly.
He
No idea.
is the 6th round pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jake Luton of Oregon State. What happens if Gardner Minshew was just a total fluke and that rookie season was just a mirage? He's no good. Totally just sucks. Is it impossible?
It's very possible.
I don't know. I think they write him out because you know what? They're number one on my list to get Trevor Lawrence. So I think I
Yeah,
think
you're
they,
saying if Minshew sucks, they're going to keep him in.
But here's the thing. If they're in the running for the number 1 pick and Minshew's horrible, who's to say they don't trot out the 6th-round pick for a couple starts and see what they have?
Oh, what the Bengals did with Ryan Finley and Andy Dalton?
Ryan Finley should have never been drafted. Never.
I'm not disagreeing.
I'm convinced my 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old brother, I don't remember how old he is, has more
That's bad,
arm
Trey.
strength than Ryan Finley. Guaranteed.
I can't throw very far.
Ryan Finley literally can't throw a football like more than 20 yards.
Oh, I can throw. I think I can throw farther than 20 yards. And the
What?
bet for Alex. That's my win for the day.
Jake Luton. What if he makes a couple starts for the Jags at the end of the year and just has a 3-touchdown game out of nowhere and wins your fantasy championship?
I mean, it's possible.
I'd be depressed if that's who I lost to.
God, could you imagine?
Just who the fuck is Jake Luton?
Who the fuck is that guy?
That
That's
guy.
why we play the game.
And that is why we call it, who the fuck is that guy?
Any closing thoughts here?
Stidham, and I'm done.
GIF, not GIF.
We're not getting. That was last episode. We're past that.
And I've proven you right. I've proven me right. You wrong.
Why? By saying the creator calls it GIF, that makes no sense.
We're not doing
Yes,
this.
'cause-
We're not doing it. Yeah,
We're
just
not-
cut it.
we're
Cut
not
the
doing it.
episode. Cut it.
We're not doing this. Again, this is Trey Daubert speaking. You can find me on Twitter, TREYDAUBERT, Logush52 for Scott, Alex Chick and his no-name podcast. That will do it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.